We are back today discussing our series of, our steps in taking our lifestyle changes. So, we are back with Dr. Alex Tam, and we are going to be discussing today about stress management and how does it affect our bodies, and, how do we manage it better. So,
Absolutely. How many people are stressed throughout the world?
I,
What do you think?
I
Or at least
think
in
there's,
America? What do you think? I'll
well,
say 90% of adults.
90%, yes, with chronic stress.
Yeah.
So, stress is a normal reaction the body has when changes occur, resulting in, physical, emotional, and intellectual responses. So, in the past,
Hmm.
I was thinking that, if you mention the word stress, it's just about, the stress, work related stress, emotional stress, and all that. But it's actually a normal reaction of the body. And believe it or not, short term stress can actually lead to increased productivity and even improved health. But chronic stress can actually lead to chronic diseases, just like, the things that we discuss here: obesity, diabetes.
Hmm.
So, the first question that our viewers have, Dr. Tam, is what happens to my body when I get stressed?
Well, when your body is stressed, normally what happens, if you look at it's the fight, flight, or
Res-
freeze type of effect,
yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Most people call it the fight or flight. And
Response. Yeah.
automatically, when that response happens, your body releases certain hormones to immediately race your heart. So your heart rate starts to go up, your
Hmm.
breathing rate starts to go up. You automatically have more blood flow away from your vital organs and your digestive system, and then it will
Hmm.
go to your hands and feet. And then your
Hmm.
palms, your feet will start getting little bit more sweaty. So
Hmm.
that's the fight or flight response among chronic or among stress, just regular
Hmm.
stress. Now, that's okay if it happens momentarily, right? Our body's built for that.
Yeah.
The reason why it happens is because it's for safety. If all of a sudden you see a lion 100 feet away,
Of
right,
course.
you're either going to get ready to fight,
Hmm.
okay, or
Right.
flight, which is run, right? So that is normal. That's a normal response. What we shouldn't be having is chronic stress, which means every time you turn a corner, you see another lion. Our body's not built for that, right?
Hmm.
It's like having that constant stimulant of that lion is not normal.
Hmm.
So, but that's what stress overall is that that's the type of response that our body is supposed to have. It's made to protect us in the long run and help us survive. But it's not supposed to be meant to be long term, right? Anytime when we have chronic stress, if it becomes more than a few minutes at a time, it's considered more chronic. And some people who have, external factors of stress where they're always stressed, right? There's multiple stress. Everything can cause stress.
Hmm.
Family sometimes would be stressful. Finances are stressful, right? People suffering from their health. Did you know that people just looking at their phone on a regular basis, right? Just the fact that they get the vibrate or the ding,
And
that
they
in
get
itself,
stressed.
that's a stress,
Hmm.
right? Because what's the first thing that people do? Ooh, let me look at
Who's
this.
this? Right.
So all of a sudden, you get that, ooh, what is this? Right?
Hmm.
That's a stress.
Hmm. So it's basically your body's response really to anything, to the stimuli, if it
Exactly. It's a
makes sense.
stimulant, right? Good
Mm-hmm.
or bad, it's a stimulant.
Hmm. All
Yeah.
right. And um, in the past, you always have about cortisol, right?
Hmm.
So when we get stressed, I know that your body releases too much of this hormone. So can
Hmm.
you tell us more about that, Doc?
Yeah. So cortisol is mainly released in the hormone called the, or released in the organ called the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands sit above the kidneys. Now, what happens is when you do get stress, you get a shot of that. You get like a dose of it. And a dose of it is fine. Your body's like, whoa, that you're wired, you're ready to go, right? But it's that constant dose that
Mm-hmm.
people are looking for. They get and cause adrenal fatigue. And when their body becomes adrenal fatigue, they're not motivated, they're always sleepy, they feel like they
Right.
need to take afternoon naps all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
They wake up tired, you see?
Right,
And
right.
that's what's called adrenal fatigue. Now, this
Mm-hmm.
is why people now become later on addicted to coffee, is because coffee has caffeine and it gives them that boost of energy, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when they're stressed all the time and when they don't have, when their bodies are shot, their adrenals are no longer producing enough cortisol for them to function. Now
Okay.
they need to replace that stimulant with something else.
Mm-hmm.
And caffeine happens to be a lot of people's choice.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot more, right? And I came across an article or a study rather where they are saying that 75% of doctors' visits are actually because of stress related diseases,
Yeah.
right? What do you normally, or first of all, how do we diagnose stress
Well, stress is
or
not
too much
something.
stress? Hmm.
When you think about what is stress, and I always look at how does it affect the body,
Right.
right? If people can't go to sleep, they can't focus correctly, right? They are always moody. Their mood's always terrible,
Hmm.
right? They rely heavily on caffeine, okay, or they rely heavily on sugars to give them
Hmm.
energy. That means their body is already too stressed, too far gone, right? There's also measurable inflammatory factors that people are able to measure in their bodies. They have to do blood work to do that, right? High
Hmm.
blood pressure is a lot of times caused by stress. Stress can, over time, cause high blood pressure, right?
Hmm.
Because what
Hmm.
happens is your blood pressure just continues to pump really, really high when you're chronic, right? Your heart has to pump very hard to get
Hmm.
through some of the blood vessels, you see? So
Hmm.
naturally, when your body is stressed on the short term level, you should have slightly higher elevated blood pressure, which is okay.
Right.
But when it becomes chronic, that's when it's not okay, you see?
Hmm.
So
Right.
the diagnostics is how it affects your life. How's it affecting your mood, right? It's more than just one number. It's a combination of numbers. But the article is correct because it's probably over 75%
Hmm.
of people that go to doctors. If you look at why they're feeling this way, or like mentally, what's actually happening, right? Over time, chronic stress, their adrenals are shot, their thyroids don't work correctly, liver doesn't work correctly. Now you increase the chance of depression and anxiety
You're
as
right.
well. So
Hmm.
that is where a lot of doctors should be looking at people's outside environment, not just what's on the inside, but what's on the outside as well, and how that's affecting them. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I also read that cortisol can be, can cause mental health declines, and
Oh, absolutely.
it can even cause your brain to shrink actually.
Hmm.
So normally, Doc, when you, because ultimately I think that, stress could be a root cause for chronic disease, right?
Hmm.
So based on your diagnostics, what do you normally tell your patient? Like, what are the what's the advice or the first step that you advise them to take
Well, first we have
when
to see
they
what's
have too
causing the
much?
stress,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, you know, a lot of people are under financial stress. Now, are they under financial stress because they are feeling like they need to provide for their family? Or are they trying to keep up with everybody else?
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things that I think people have a misconception is they're looking for outside things to fulfill
Stressors.
their life,
Mm-hmm.
right? With social media nowadays, what do you see? You see people with the flashy watches, flashy
Mm-hmm.
jewelry, cars, right? And that's it,
Travel.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You see that. But what you don't see is sometimes you don't see the struggles that they went through to get what they have. Or sometimes they just are flat out fake, where they rent a
Mm-hmm.
car, right? And they take pictures in front of it, and you think they own it. They go to a jewelry store, they try on some jewelry, and you think they own that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They go on the tarmac at the airport and take a picture in front of a private plane, and you
Mm-hmm.
think they have it, right? They go to their bank account and clean out their bank account and put like $30,000, $40,000 on top of the bed, if that is the case, or they take $1,000 and they spread it out in 20s. And now you
Mm-hmm.
think they have a lot of money.
Right.
So, and then you go and put it right back in the bank,
Mm-hmm.
right? People like to show off to just try to get views. And there are a lot of people who wants that external. They think that, oh, more likes, more views is better.
Mm-hmm.
What they're not seeing is that they're not happy on the inside. They're not happy and they're not having joy in what they do. So they need a lot of external things. Well, if you end up wanting all that, you're going to create a lot of financial kind of pitfalls for yourself, you know, and then it's never enough, right? When is it
Mm-hmm.
enough? I think most people should just have a lot more gratitude
Yeah.
in living their life. Have faith. Feel blessed. You know,
Mm-hmm.
have a lot more gratitude in their life with
Mm-hmm.
not just what they're trying to chase, but with what they already currently have. Most people
Mm-hmm.
aren't feeling like they always want more, which is, I don't have a problem with wanting more, but are you happy with what you currently have?
Right.
Because if you're not happy with what you currently have and you don't feel the joy in what you already have and that gratitude of what you currently have, it doesn't matter what you will get in the future because you will still not be satisfied. That saying, I'll be happy when this happens. And then that happens and you're not fulfilled, right?
And you'll give another goal, another want,
Then
another
you'll
need.
just be
Right.
chasing
Mm-hmm.
everything. And one of the recent books I read, it's called The Gap and the Gain, is the gain is people who always look at what they're missing out on or what they can get more of, where most people are lacking in the in the gain. See, they look at the gap. The gap is, oh, I need to get from here to there. From here to there. It's always from here to there, right? Whereas the gain is once in a while, we have to reflect and look at, wow, over the last year, look how far we've came,
Mm-hmm.
right?
This is what I already have. Right.
Yeah, this is what I already have. I feel very blessed and have a lot of gratitude for what I already have, and it's okay to get more, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of purpose is it? The purpose behind it is huge, by the way. See, some
Mm-hmm.
people just want more just to want more so they can show it off that they have more.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, that's you'll never be fulfilled. You'll never have joy, right? Happiness and joy are kind of two different things,
Two different things. Right.
right? You know,
Mm-hmm. I
so
agree.
it's people need to have joy in what they do. They need to enjoy, right? That's what the word enjoy comes in. You got to enjoy what you do.
Exactly.
You see?
Yeah.
So that's how I see it.
And we often see this in, especially people who try to get more, right?
Hmm.
Eventually they exhaust themselves and no longer have that. the one that we were talking about, the work-life balance, right? And they end up getting stressed, and then their body get weak,
They get sick.
so it gets sick.
They end up with all kinds of diseases.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I guess the one thing here is that you have to make the right choices first, right? In order
Hmm.
for you to manage stress, to get less stress or to prevent stress, you have to make the right choices, right?
Yeah.
And basically, be contented with what you have,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
All
Be
right.
happy and have
Be
joy
happy.
with what you have.
Yep.
Now, to
I
be
guess it's.
content, sometimes being content might not necessarily be but it depends on how you look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have joy. And one of the big things I've seen my mentor say is, he says, are you providing joy, not just on your own, but for others as well?
Mm-hmm.
Are you making enough of an impact in the joy of others where they can enjoy themselves? And I see that that's what we do every day in this office, right? While we're making these videos, is that hopefully through watching this, people are able to experience joy in their life, right? And we're able to create an impact in their life where they can experience that joy. Because I think that's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's like, who would like to go to work if they don't enjoy it? If work is
Right.
terrible, the people are toxic, then it's not even worth it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right. And stress is everywhere. No, we can't really control it. It's everywhere, literally.
right.
So again, just like what Dr. Tam said, find your joy, right? So those are all my questions for today, Dr. Tam.
Awesome,
So
awesome.
thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you so much, Rocky. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.